I am gaming. I am gaming. I am gaming podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Ivica. Thank you so much for joining me on my latest episode of I'm Gaming Podcast. This is a podcast about the video game industry, entrepreneurship, gaming nostalgia, and many more cool things I find to be in the same realm of business and creative ventures. This time around, I want to again give a huge thanks to all of my Patreon supporters. You make this podcast possible. Everyone else, please check out my Patreon page and consider supporting me on a regular monthly basis with your sweet money, which then becomes my sweet money, and a bit of it goes to Patreon as well, which becomes then their sweet money. This is 105 episode of I'm Gaming Podcast, and this is going to be an episode about productivity and how to get things done. And you get them done by taking them one bite at a time. You know the famous saying, which is probably now kind of wrong because it implies that you kill an endangered species. But the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? Well, you eat him one bite at a time. Again, elephants are endangered. You shouldn't eat anyone or anything that is endangered, especially anyone. But in this case, the metaphor is that you can do anything, even though it might seem huge, by taking basically one step at a time or one bite at a time. I recently had the opportunity and the chance to organize a big international event that took place online, and I had a lot of things to do around it. I even hosted it, and it was pretty demanding, pretty intense. There were a lot of moments during that process when I felt pretty much overwhelmed and under a decent amount of stress throughout the process, but especially at the end. And often it looked like I'm kind of losing the thread and that I won't be able to get it done. At those moments, and I believe that anyone can kind of feel and get a sense of having those moments, it is important to stay focused on the next step, on the next bite. That is what kind of helped me through this organization, and basically what helps me whenever I get to do something big, demanding, something that lasts for a long time. When you get overwhelmed by thinking about, hey, what's happening after this and after that, how long do I need to do this, what are going to be some future problems, obstacles and issues, you basically only stress yourself out further. You drag yourself down and you lose the ability to work on that next bite. Yes, it's important to plan ahead and think about eventualities, but not do it on the cost of the present moment and the things you need to do right now. And most of the time, you don't need to plan actually for things, you just need to work on the things that are right in front of you. That applies to anything you might have, especially if you're working in the creative domain, if you're building games, if you're creating, let's say, content like this podcast. The key element in that moment of feeling overwhelmed is to get back to the present moment and ground yourself back to the thing that you need to be doing now. Not as a way of punishing yourself or being negative towards yourself, being that drill commander, drill master, drill sergeant that is abusing his troops. You don't get anything from that by simply saying, yeah, there are a lot of potential issues, there are a lot of things that you need to do, and you'll do it in the future. But right now, try to relax as much as you can. You probably won't be able, but still. And do the thing that you should be doing now. Call that person, write that document, organize this part of an event. Make sure that this is happening. Cancel something else that shouldn't be happening. No matter what that single element, single thing is, the importance in the process lies in the present moment, not in the future potential issues. Again, there will be times when you need to plan ahead, and that's cool, that's okay. But if you do that, when you're feeling overwhelmed, you'll simply add additional bucket loads of stress onto an already stressful pile. Don't do that. Simply back away from it, get back to the present moment, do that thing that you should be doing, then the next thing, then the next thing. Don't think about too far in the future. Simply stay focused on the present. I know this is a general advice, but it really is something that we should be reminding yourself of constantly. especially when it comes to, like I said, creative stuff that you're working on your own, when you don't have any outside overview or tasks or management that is saying, hey, you should do this or you should do that right now. It's all up to you. In those moments, one bite of a time really gets that huge meal done. Let's say it like that. Let's not introduce elephants into that. Again, they're endangered, so please no one eat them metaphorically or literally. But through that process, you really get things done. One bite at a time makes your project come alive, makes your venture work, does everything you're looking for and more, because it simply allows you to stay working. Most important thing is to stay moving, stay in that momentum. Sometimes you're fast, sometimes you're slow, sometimes you make great time and great distances, other times you barely move at all. The essential thing is to keep moving. This aim applies here, one bite at a time, one step at a time, really gets anything and everything done. That's all for the 105th episode of iGaming Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much to all of my Patreon supporters. Please check out all of their creative and business ventures. In the description below, links are there. They will take you to the awesome YouTube channels, games, and many more things my Patreon supporters do. If you'd like to support me as well, please check out my page on Patreon and consider giving me $1 per month. Yep, that would be more than enough. That's all for me. Thank you for sticking through this episode. Have a great day, and I'll see you in exactly 7 days from now. Until then, bye bye.